So I haven't done one of these in a while, at least not on here, and that is Into the Infinityverse. Now, Into the Infinityverse is basically like a little, basically like this behind the scenes for a shared fanfiction universe that my friend and I, Jason Voorhees 2011, basically do together on fanfiction.net. And today I thought it would be kind of fun to revisit one of the aspects of this, and that is basically multiverse. And I talked about this a little before, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to like delve into it more. And that is the Earth 2. Now, Earth 2 is something we've mentioned here and there, but recently we've been kind of exploring and building a little more, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of the stuff on there and some of the aspects of Earth 2, which is ruled by the Crime Syndicate. So let's get into it. So the Crime Syndicate of Earth 2 is basically much like the DC version, is inspired by the DC version of the Crime Syndicate. And in here, the Crime Syndicate is run by Lord Draken, who, this is a different version of Lord Draken from the Boom Studios Power Ranger comics. It is still Tommy, but he's not affiliated with like Rita or anything. You see, the Power Rangers and most like on Earth 2, heroes are villains and villains are heroes. It's a mirror Earth. It's a dark mirror Earth of Earth 1 or Earth Prime in this fanfiction universe. And before anyone asks, because they always do, no, there are no Marvel or DC characters in here. But anyway, so this version of Lord Draken come from Earth 2 brought together the Crime Syndicate. Why? Because on Earth 2, this Earth 2 wasn't like everyone's been evil from the beginning and evil just rules the planet. No, there was actually a time where it was good. It was run by the Society of Superheroes, which in here is the mirror of the Society of Supervillains on Earth Prime, which is run by Black Hat in our stories. And in here, White Hat Black Hat's good self on Earth 2 is the leader of the Society of Superheroes. Until there was a changing of the guard, so to say. Because what happened was Lord Draken brought together all the villains and essentially Order 66, the Society of Superheroes. Yeah, they basically pulled an Old Man Logan, where all the supervillains teamed up and started just massacring the heroes. Now, there are some heroes left, but they're in hiding, and they're not just hiding from the society, they are also hiding from other humans, because, yeah, basically the only good metahuman is a dead metahuman at this point, for, the general populace. That's that was the basic idea, is that, even mankind doesn't want them around anymore, because they didn't save us, they didn't save Earth 2. The other thing about Earth 2 is that they do, much like on the Grant Morrison Earth 2 comic, they do say, have certain sayings, and they weren't implemented by the Syndicate, such as, people, not just other characters will say this, but they'll say, oh, God below, or devil above, or oh my Satan, or, thank the devil. They'll say stuff like that, because, it's opposite. They worship, God below instead of, and, for them, God is below and the devil is above on this mirror Earth. So they've been saying that even before the villains took over. So after the Crime Syndicate became a united force and took over Earth 2, since then they've just been making the planet like their own, personal crime land, they're basically they're kingpins of this new world. Implemented a new government that they would be yes men to. They've hunted the kaiju of their Earth into extinction. They've hunted them into extinction. There's no Godzilla. There's no Ghidorah. There's none of that there. The Syndicate hunted them into extinction. There are still superheroes out there, but like I said, they're in hiding. And they do have plans, and we kind of implement. This isn't so much a spoiler, but we did implement this in the first story we did for this fanfiction shared universe. Basically, they are planning to invade Earth Prime at some point. There is plans for an invasion of Earth Prime from Earth 2. The Syndicate want to control another Earth. So that's the thing. Now, like I said before, Lord Draken is a lot different than the Lord Draken you know in the Boom Studios comics. Their Power Rangers were villains, but Tommy wanted more power and killed the other Rangers. But that's not to say there are Rangers there are Rangers out there, but they're not exactly power. If you know what I mean. I think you do. Not gonna go. There is something a little more to those Rangers, to those certain Rangers, because they're not like the ones you know from that one Power Ranger series. But I don't want to but I'm not going to spoil the difference for those Rangers. They're still a little psycho, but they're a lot different from the ones you know. Anyway, what was I going to say? So in this also in this story, you've got other characters. Like I said, there are shadows. They're like the villain versions of the heroes of Earth Prime. You've got Danny Phantom, who this version of Danny is like he's kind of like our Deathstorm. He's like our equivalent of Deathstorm from Earth 2. He's like decrepit and like the Ghost Zone really fucked him up. Like his face is all like pulled back. He looks like a walking corpse, and he can drain people's life force. He looks like just death, and he just drains the life force out of people and consumes it for himself. That's how he lives. He's like a ghost vampire kind of thing. You have Mabel. Mabel in here is very much based off the Reverse Falls version of her. In fact, it's fanfiction, so we kind of took that idea. But in here, there is no Dipper. There's no Dipper. There's a reason why. Mabel killed him and absorbed his soul. She killed him and consumed his soul to gain more power. She, unlike our Mabel, who's happy and carefree and happy-go-lucky, this Mabel is cold, cruel, deadly, and a bit of a racist. And I use the term bit loosely. So, yeah. You've also got Randy in here. This version of Randy was raised in the Foot Clan, which in this version was run by Hamato Yoshi, who never got mutated. And Randy was raised as an orphan, but murdered his 4 brothers. So yeah, the turtles of this universe are dead. He murdered his 4 brothers and is now taken the rank of the Shredder. He's also betrothed to Sashi. Sashi's been betrothed to him, because in here, Sashi was raised in the Arashi Kage. And that team was run by Snake Eyes, which the G.I. Joes were never formed in this universe. The G.I. Joes were never formed, but you might see them sprinkled out. Like I said, Snake Eyes is a villain here, and he is the leader of the Arashi Kage. And she was betrothed to him as a peace offering. But however, Sashi's kind of knocking boots with someone behind Randy's back. And if you've seen Pen Zero Part-Time Hero, you know who I'm talking about. So, yeah. You also have Shazam. Shazam is the villain version of Shizao in here. You have the version... We're going to use the Shattered Glass version from IDW Comics for the Autobots and Decepticons, or the ones that are left for the Decepticon side. So yeah, when I talk about the Autobots in Earth 2, or we talk about them, when Jason and I write them, it's going to be the a version of the Shattered Glass version of those characters. So you also have... there's just a lot of characters there, and you're going to be shocked of how far gone a lot of these villain versions are. We have Cobra. Cobra in here is actually like an underground resistance movement to the Syndicate, and you're going to be shocked I'm not going to tell you who this universe's Cobra Commander is, but it's a doozy. There is also a Remnant 2, and that first story is out on the Max line for our shared fanfiction universe. Remnant 2 was solely created by Jason, and he's doing like mini stories for it. So in Remnant 2, it is basically the evil mirror version of Remnant from RWBY. and that universe is a lot of fun. Jason's just been having a ball writing that one, which I don't want to spoil much there because he's got a lot set up that I don't want to spoil. But yeah, you also have. This is just like I said, we really took a lot of dark turns on it, but we didn't like. We wanted to have like its own spin. Like, yeah, it's a world ruled by a villainous version of the heroes. But we decided to have like a fun, like maybe it just didn't start out that way. Like maybe there was like a good time before that, and then the villains took over. So we didn't want it to be like just like an exact copy of Earth 2. So that was the big thing for making Earth 1, for making this version of Earth 2. We didn't want to make a carbon copy of Earth 2 directly, and by and large, the crime syndicate from DC Comics. We wanted to have our own little spin to it. That's why we added the little, like, Old Man Logan-esque takeover in the story. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this? Do you guys like it, hate it? And just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys later.